Today is the day of autism. Today is the day, April 2nd, recognized by the United Nations as the day to raise awareness for autism. And not only today, but also April, the rest of the month of April, is the day in which for autism, it's the month for autism. Throughout this month, we're going to see different things. We're going to see different activities, festivities, events, both in person and virtual, talking about autism. And we're going to hear the word autism a lot. How it impacts the lives of millions of people around the world and their families. We're going to hear about the importance of wearing blue to raise awareness for autism. We're going to hear about acceptance for people with autism as members capable of making the difference in the community. We're going to hear about the importance and the call to help people with autism to achieve a better quality of life. So we're going to be hearing that a lot during this time. But the thing is that this is the time in which most people, most society is going to hear autism at the most, because the rest of the year they won't listen too much about autism, even though that's changing. But what is autism? We hear what is autism, what is ASD or Asperger. What is it? Well, simple. Autism is many things to many different people. You hear different perspectives around the world. But I can talk about autism from my own perspective. And now you can be wondering, what qualifies me to talk about autism? Am I a doctor or a specialist? No. Am I a therapist? No. Am I a teacher? No. Am I a parent with a child with autism? No. Not close enough. Just kidding. I'm not a parent. But what qualifies me to talk about autism? But what qualifies me is that autism has impacted my life from the moment that I came into this world all the way to now. I'm a person that is diagnosed with autism. And you may wonder, how could it be? Or you may think about, okay, you're faking it. You're trying to take advantage of the moment. It's like so many others that say they have autism, but they don't. Or they don't look like autistic. But autism has impacted my life. And I can only talk about autism from my own perspective. As I mentioned, there's different millions of perspectives around the world. So I'm going to start talking about autism, starting first with my brief story. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I was diagnosed with autism at age 4. During this time, we're talking about the early 90s, in which there was not a lot of information about autism. My parents told them different things. They even told my mom they told her, also my dad, different things, that I had this or I had that. They even told my mom that I was retarded. Just imagine that if you're a parent and you had to listen to somebody tell that from your own child, how would you react? You would have reacted angrily, and rightfully so. But those were the first sample of the things and situations that I had to deal with ever since I've been here, and I still had to deal with at some extent to this very day. As a person with autism, an autistic person, I went to situations that are common with other people in the autism spectrum, but I also went to situations that are not common for a person in the autism spectrum. From being nonverbal to age 4, struggles with social communication, trying to understand and build friendships with other people. I always had that struggle. And I didn't know what autism is, or I never heard about it, especially when I was a child. I knew something within me felt different. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that something felt different within me. And as a result of this, I went to different tough situations. I went to different situations of rejection, bullying, depression, anxiety in school. And not only in school, but I also went through very tough situations across my life. You know, my parents got divorced when I was 5. I had to live with my mom and my older siblings. Then my mom had to move. We moved with my dad. It was a lot of tough situations, a lot of changes that were happening at the same time. So as a child with autism, I didn't have like a whole support, or in other words, was living like an autistic, a child, what you see a lot of times in the media or society of a child with autism. I went through a lot of different stuff. But those situations is what helped me to push me and to keep fighting for a better tomorrow. There was something again within me that told me not to give up. That at the end there was going to be light, there was going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. So despite that, I was able to, despite those challenges, and not everything was challenges, of course. I have some hobbies that I really enjoyed, like doing drawings, paintings, for example, from mountains from Puerto Rico, things that I used to enjoy, to take away my attention and live in my own world from all the situations I was going through. I love doing video games, arts, as I mentioned, wrestling. I like wrestling. I even love Star Wars. I even became more of a fan of Star Wars than most people. And so those are the things that helped me to survive the onslaught, basically, of the situations of all the situations of life. And and despite the situations and struggles that I went through in my life, I was able to keep fighting and surviving. I was able to graduate from college, graduate from high school, and then graduate from college from a bachelor's degree in business information management. Be able to work, gain work experience, and right now working full time in customer service and sales, an area that according to society, most people in autism that have autism will not survive, or they're not supposed to be doing. I also became an author, and write my own book about my life with autism, became a public speaker, and now today I'm on TV and I have a weekly TV segment on TV. So if I told you all these things, you would expect, you would not expect a person in the autism spectrum or an autistic person to do all these things. But that's my life. And again, from my own perspective and experiences and scars to prove it. There's a lot of descriptions as to what autism is, or what we should be focused on with autism, whether it's awareness, acceptance, or action. For me, autism is perseverance, to never give up and to continue fighting. For me, autism is perseverance and to not give up. And again, the thing that for me, what should be focused on during this autism month is on all the above, awareness, acceptance, action, everything. And we should really take action towards not putting limits on the potential that people with autism can achieve. Which is, I always believe that people with autism, regardless of the functionality level or challenge, they can achieve a great purpose of life. And that's what we should be focused on. Not only in this month, but the rest of the year. And that's my call, and that's what I've been fighting for, and I will continue to fighting for to the end, to my time is out in this world. Or my time is up. So my focus, is to continue raising awareness, acceptance, action in our society for people with autism. And my message to all is to let you know that people with autism have a purpose of life. They have a mission to accomplish great things in life. I'm just only a story, but there are millions of stories that need to be told. And that's what I believe we need to be focused on, really focus on this month and beyond. Let's continue to do more as a society, especially as a community, to not put limits on the potential and the purpose that people with autism have in this world. So for me, autism is perseverance. is perseverance, but to not give up and to continue fighting, not only for people with autism, but also their families and their communities. So thank you so much for being here today. And let's all work together towards helping each individual with autism and other disabilities or any other great challenge in life fulfill their purpose in life. Thank you.